Okay, now we're going to fill in the formulas for our amortization schedule. This is where things can get a bit confusing, but I'm not treating this like an accounting class, so I don't expect you to know how the formulas work, just that they do and that you're able to copy them in here from our textbook. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fill in the beginning balance. Beginning balance is really easy for the first year. It just simply equals C6. It equals our loan amount. I hit tab, it fills in the loan amount. Now the ending balance, that's where it gets kind of complicated. You can read on page Excel 298 all the details about the present value function. Basically our ending balance is going to be the present value of the loan after 1 year has been completed on paying that. Now what I do want to show you is the if function. So in the ending balance cell there in I3, I type if, and then the first thing I put in is my logical test. You can see this in your book on page 298. You say if G3, which is the year I'm on, is less than or equal to $E $3. Now just a real quick pause here to go over what these dollar signs mean. Whenever you copy a cell in Excel into another cell, if you don't have dollar signs before the numbers and the letters of the columns and rows, then those numbers and the columns and rows will change based on how far you copied it from the original. If you put the dollar sign in there, it will keep it static. So by putting $E $3, I'm guaranteeing that that value will always be whatever's in this cell, E3. If I didn't have those and I copied this formula down into the cell below it, instead of taking this value, it would take the value below it. So that's what the dollar signs mean there. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is, getting back to the formula, if G3, the number of the year, is less than or equal to the number of years we have there, then we're going to put in our present value function. I'm just going to pause as I type that in there because it could take a little while, and then I'll go back and briefly explain it. Okay, here's my present value function. Basically I put in the rate here, which is our monthly rate, the payment, which would be the number of payments, so 12, the number of months in a year, times by the number of years of the loan minus the year I'm on. That's going to help me give me my present value. And at the end it's our payment amount. Our payment amount is what our monthly payment is there. So I close that off, and then I put a comma, 0, and then I close it off. And what this is saying is we have our if statement. So if this is true, if the year here is less than this year, we put our present value in. Otherwise we put a 0 in. Now that's because we could have 5 here, such as our number of years for a car loan. When we have that, we don't want to start filling in data down here. We just want to put zeros in for the ending balance after the loan has been completely paid. So that's that function. I hit tab over. Now we're going to do the paid on principal. Paid on principal is a pretty simple formula. It equals H3 minus I3. It equals the beginning balance minus the ending balance. So however much we've reduced our total balance is the amount we've paid on the principal. And then the interest paid is going to equal another if formula, and it's going to be if H3 is greater than 0, then we want to put in the value of 12 times by $E $4 minus J3, otherwise 0. So what we're saying here is the amount we pay, number of months 12, times by the monthly payment minus the amount we paid to the principal is going to be the amount of the interest. Okay, and if H3, or the beginning balance, is greater than 0, or if it's less than 0, we want to just put in a 0 there. So I hit enter, and that fills in those data. In the next lesson I'll show you how to fill in the rest of the values for these cells and then format our table.